Even in the Star Wars universe, there's Star Wars nerds. Let's discuss tonight. Everyone, welcome back to a Goonies-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Skeleton Crew, Season 1, Episode 1. This could be a real adventure. Did you, mess with the volume?
Yeah.
Yep, we are here. Skeleton Crew is finally here, and I'm super pumped for tonight's episode. I don't know about Drew, but we're doing this.
I'm pumped.
Late night, because our original plans to do 2 on Wednesday got foiled. And so we're doing this. This is our latest stream ever. 11 o'clock at night. Well, it's almost 11:30 that we're starting.
This is like literally when we end.
Right. Like our earliest we've ever done was what was that one this year? Like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or something like that.
Good cup of coffee in the morning. My eyes were like folded over still. but it was still good. It was good.
But we're here.
So if you guys are watching the YouTube version, are you guys here? Just
a yawn.
We're not bored. We're just
don't yawn dying. In the mic.
We're just dying, okay, you guys?
Yep. Hopefully I'm not too loud. Bored. Like for my neighbors upstairs, and because like right behind me is like the vent above the stovetop, and like I can hear people upstairs talking if they're in the kitchen. Or
sometimes we can hear them too.
You have?
I can hear them walking around sometimes.
Well, walking that's different, but like sometimes the people above me have when they argue, I can hear them fighting.
Ooh, do you record it?
No, but hopefully they don't hear us. But before we get started, quick. This is, a first episode of a season, and we get a lot of more viewers and listeners and stuff. So it's kind of like checking, hey, we've been doing a lot of fun stuff lately on our channel. Go check out our blind ranking videos. We got some book reviews going the last few months that have gotten tons of views and listens and stuff. Go check that out. Last week, we did a comics with Grace. We went over the first part of the Kira comics. And so that was a lot of fun. I really like Kira's story from the post solo movie, and so go check that out. A lot of fun. Part 2 will be in January. But if you are just finding us, welcome. We're getting close to 300 episodes, so you got a lot if you're just discovering us. So go check us out. Follow us everywhere. A lot of fun, a lot of content that you can enjoy. But and welcome to all of our normal listeners and the people that kind of like just focus on TV shows. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Welcome back.
Hopefully this was better than the last show we got.
Hopefully. But that's not that hard. But yeah, so welcome. We're glad to be here to do our breakdowns of all of these episodes. And so this is the first episode. Highly anticipated show on our part. A lot of people are excited for it. Drew, do you want to go over your overall thoughts of this first episode?
Sure, I'll go first. Because I kind of already know your thoughts. I loved it. I really liked it. Jeremiah say that. So we have our group chat in our own private Discord. And Jeremiah is like already spoiled to me his answer to the show.
Well, Andrew did ask, and I was like,
and
I don't
Andrew asked because
he hasn't watched it yet because he's doing K-pop stuff or something, right?
I don't
know.
Anyways, so I wrote I posted a meme of a guy thinking to get Jeremiah all riled up, pretty much, and it worked. But anyways, yes, I liked it. I figured out what it is, Jeremiah. Disney knows how to make Star Wars shows as long as Force users aren't in it.
What does that mean? They do
Think
all
about
kinds
it.
of good
Just
stuff.
think
What are you
about
talking
it.
about? There's only one terrible Disney show, and that was The Acolyte.
And it has the most Force users and the most
Yeah,
like
but
sorted like.
Mandalorian, you got Ahsoka, you got
Okay,
Kenobi.
but they're all like okay.
There's,
Kenobi has a lot of hate. A lot of people don't like Kenobi.
that is true, but I think people. It's a show that people are gonna like grow to love as time goes on.
I also feel like that show is like a lot of people hate it because they had such high expectations of what that could be and what it should be, you know? So like they don't like it because their bar is so high,
Right.
essentially. But like, okay, I should say more or less, their Disney's best Star Wars is non-Force Star Wars. Andor. Rogue One.
Vader's in there. That counts.
Like whatever. He goes in at the last minute. The best Vader scene of all time. Yes, that's fair. But and Mando season 1. I mean, you got some Grogu, but like it's not over. Like the majority of the characters in those shows aren't Force users, right? Like that's not the primarily goal of that show. Kind of. Ahsoka is good. Ahsoka is you got me on that one. Ahsoka is really good. They're doing that well. But yeah. And I really think this one is gonna be similar. Like I was really happy the way it started. I thought it was gonna be more kiddish. Like and it just started off with like people just dropping bombs and blowing up and killing people and like it was intense like right away and it was really cool. So I really enjoyed that. And then I really liked the development of like those kids characters. Like you felt like you're already part of their like galaxy and their universe and like what they're doing and the way they explain what that planet is and how it works. Like I really like it and I think it's really cool. So I don't know. I have high hopes. Like I love the first episode. Granted, I don't know. We didn't. If you guys are listening to this, we're only breaking down episode 1. I don't know if that.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys can tell by the title and stuff, but we have not seen part 2.
Yeah, so all of our discussion is.
So I could be completely wrong. Maybe part 2 is trash. I don't know.
Right, but like to your point though about like shows that are non-Force users. Well, technically, Jude Law. They said he's.
Yes, but he's not like the main character. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but
like if we have one Force user dude in there,
he's gonna be part of the squad though.
That helps the squad out. True, but I'm just saying, like, if he's gonna be in there and he's just helping them, he's not like the primarily goal. Like this kid is not Force sensitive at all. Okay,
he wants to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if
I know.
What's gonna be funny? It's gonna be like
the elephant kid.
He's gonna be the Force sensitive one.
Yeah,
and then he's gonna make his friend jealous.
Yeah,
but like,
I don't know. I like the cast so far. I really like the Mask Rebo character kid. Like,
so it should be noted that Star Wars has officially stated that is not the same species as Max Rebo. Yeah. Because even if you look at like the parents, they don't look like Max Rebo.
They're like
closer
small.
to a straight elephant.
That's just
man.
Why? If you're gonna do it, just do it.
I don't know.
What's the difference? One's fat, one's slimmer. Like,
I don't know.
Like,
so technically, they're not the same species. They officially stated that. It's just like a related, like similar species. Like
they're cousins.
Cousins. It's probably like an African elephant and an Asian elephant. Like they're technically two different ones, but they can get mixed up.
They're in the same family.
Same family, but yeah,
that's so dumb. Like, why wouldn't they just do it? Like, just say that's what it is. Like, they're making it more complicated because they want to.
Yeah, but whatever.
Whatever. Okay.
People watching don't care.
The elephant, the Dumbo kid.
Oh, okay. We're not.
I don't know.
It would have been funny, like when the girls called
Him
called the boys
Dumbo.
dumb. They funny if they called him Dumbo. That would be really kind of funny. But hey, Dumbo, what are you doing?
I
Anyway,
feel like Disney was like it's a little too on the ears, a little too on the ears,
you're gonna
or
say nose,
the
but he
nose.
has the nose.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I enjoyed it so far. I'm excited to like watch it tomorrow with Miles. Like, I'll probably watch both episodes back to back tomorrow.
Fun. Because you've only watched it once, I assume, right?
I only watched the first one last night, like probably around this time. So if my memory's a little off, you know
Yeah.
why. But
Yeah. So for me, I was happy the whole time watching. I thought it was really good. I really like the like we knew it was supposed to be like a Goonies like 80s style thing,
yeah.
like, and I think they nailed like that genre in this first episode. Like
Hmm.
honestly, like it didn't feel like Star Wars really.
Hmm.
Nothing looked like Star Wars really. Like it was like obviously it's like a weird environment of like lawns and like suburban life. Like it's not something that we're used to in Star Wars. So it didn't look like Star Wars to me. But like it was obviously, spoilers, they leave the planet at the end of this first episode. So like now moving forward, there's going to be a lot more Star Wars aesthetics that we're used to, and so it's going to fit just fine for me. But like
I don't know. I feel like it worked. Like for me, it felt like we were in the Star Wars galaxy, but at the same time in the 80s, if that makes any weird
well,
sense.
yeah, cuz that's what they're
Yeah. Or
going for.
like if ET and Star Wars were the same thing.
Well, ET is technically in episode 3,
Oh yeah, I forgot.
so that's is it episode 3 or is it episode 1?
That was episode 1.
One of the Senate things, do you see
Yeah.
the
No,
ET
I think
species
that's
in one of
3.
the pods in the Senate chamber. But anyway, so I really liked how they really focused on the '80s like way of showing things. Like we'll talk about it, but that opening scene with the pirates, like when before we see the ships, like we see the debris going through space and like the planet. Like it looked like they did it like a practical thing, like they would have done in the '80s. Like it was very similar to like the Star Wars
It felt like
movies,
I was watching episode 4. Like it
right?
had that feel about it.
Like the movement of like the debris
Yeah.
through space looked very like 80s. And then like especially at the end when the ship is coming out of the ground, like they did those like wide shots of like it
Yeah.
dirt falling off. That looked like it was done practical. Like it was like a model that they would have
Mhm.
used like in the 80s of like dirt on there and they were just like pouring it off and stuff. Now obviously it was probably mostly or all CG, but like they nailed the look of it being a practical thing that they would have done in the 80s. And so like I really appreciated just the way they presented it. Um,
Yeah.
but also like I just thought it was just fun and funny and like
Mhm.
like I with my opening like these two kids, Wim and Neil, they're just like Star Wars fans in the Star Wars universe. Like um they just want to be a Jedi. Like we don't get to really see kids be kids in Star Wars because all of Star Wars is just a bunch of wars going on, and kids don't get to be
Hence the
kids.
name Star
Yep, it's not
Wars.
Star Peace. Huh, huh. That's you're a little late on that button. But like, yeah, like I thought they just nailed this first episode, and I was just laughing at the jokes, and I had a smile on my face, and I was excited about it. Like I like all four of the kids. I like the. I think my. I think the girl that I like the most is the KB, the one with like the.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be a cool character. I think the one girl, Fern, like she's kind of like the cliche like rebellious female
Mhm.
girl. Like she's cool. The boys like Neil. I think he's cool. He's a simple, fun-loving guy that does whatever. Like he's just a simple guy, and then Wim, he's just kind of like the lead like adventurer guy. Like what's the main character's name from Goonies? Forget
I
his
was gonna
name.
say Samwise Gamgee, but
Yeah, that guy.
but yeah, because Wim is kind of like our what's the fat kid from Goonies?
Chunk.
Yeah, he's a little. He's like Chunk. He's gonna be like the
No,
comic relief.
Neil is the
Yeah,
chunky.
Neil.
The Max Rebo guy. That's Neil.
He's not a Max Reborn.
Yeah, I know.
Stupid.
But
But yeah, I think he's gonna be like the one that's like just funny or slapsticky. Like he's gonna fall over like things or like make things go off and stuff. And yeah, I don't know.
yeah, so I couldn't be happier with this opening episode, and it was 48 minutes. So that's
Yeah, it was
I'm
pretty
happy that
long.
now second episode's only 31, but that's fine. Like a good
Do
strong
we know
opening.
why they dropped it on Monday?
I don't know, dude.
Like
So
that's
weird.
so weird.
It worked. It worked out for us because now we can actually. If they did it on Tuesday, like it would screwed us over with our schedule. Like
Well, I could have watched it at work on my phone.
right, but it worked out. We're happy they
Yeah.
did it the way they did. So it just sucked. I had to like watch the first episode on Monday. Now I have to wait till tomorrow to watch the second episode. Like this kind of sucks.
Well, it's even for me, it's like typically you guys like I do like reaction video, like watch parties with them and stuff, and it was just yeah. Because now the next episode 3 comes out what next Wednesday or
Tuesday,
Tuesdays?
every Tuesday they come out.
Tuesdays now. At 6 or like 2 in the morning
8 o'clock at night, our time.
or 8 o'clock. Okay.
So
Well, if you guys want to stay up late every Tuesday night and watch it with me, let me know in the comments down below. If this video gets
10,000
100,
views.
I was gonna say 100 likes, then we'll do watch parties.
Or you should just do them anyway. We'll see. Because you have to do them late at night. Well, you
Yeah, it
could
would
do
have
them.
to be at this time.
You could do them Wednesday mornings, couldn't you? If Steph is home.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have like Miles running around.
Oh.
I could do it with Miles.
Nah, this is too. See how he goes watching those first 2 episodes, but like I feel like it's gonna be a little bit more because it's technically not a kid show. Like they said, it's not going to be a kid show. It just has kids in it, so it might be a little too intense and drama filled.
He just might get bored of the conversation.
Right. But anyway,
his favorite thing right now is Star Wars. He's on a Star Wars kick. He wants a giant Darth Vader robot for Christmas.
Did you show any of our videos with?
No, but he's gonna want it if he sees it, so he can't see it. I have to go buy him one. Good luck.
$200, you can have it. How about that right there?
$200. Nope.
I think you can buy it for like 150 off like eBay or something like that. 150. But anyway, might as well do
breakdown,
scene by scene breakdown. So we get a cool little like opening context thing where it's the Star Wars teal, but it's not like in a galaxy far, far away. It's just kind of like
it's like a squirrel.
It's just
but it's
screenshots. It's just
it's kind of cool. I
just adds the context of the timeline. It's post episode 6, and there's peace throughout the galaxy, but the outer rim hyperspace lanes are being attacked by pirates, and they're just.
Well, we don't know if this is Mando time or no.
They say it's during the Mandoverse.
Yes, but we don't know when.
And
so
we'll get into that coming up.
Did I miss reading that it was like after?
But yes, so it's just pirates. It's just that's the conflict in the galaxy that they're dealing with is pirates, and so it just pans down like in the Star Wars movies, and there's a planet, and then you see some debris coming through, and then a ship coming in, and then boom, huge explosions of these giant ramming rod boarding things that go into the ship, and the pirates just flood in and start taking out to everyone, the crew, and the crew's trying to fight back the best they can, but they got crappy pistols. Like, why don't you have some nice, like, there's pirates attacking everyone. Get some nicer guns or something. But they
I
have
don't
these
know.
tiny little pistol blasters, and pretty quickly the crew gets taken out. And so they're coming in, and they go to the vault, and Captain Silvo is the head of the pirates, and the werewolf-looking guy, his name is Brutus, I think. And so Captain Silvo talks to, like, I'm guessing the captain or something of this ship, and he's just like, "Hey, open up the vault. We want the credits." And the guy's like, "There's no credits here. We're da 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 da." And it's like, "Whatever. Why do you have a magnetically sealed vault? Blah blah blah." And they weld through. Do what's the opposite of a welder? I don't know. Whatever. They cut through it with the flame cutter thing, and it's empty except for
Well, they
one
killed the
credit.
captain. Don't forget about that.
Killed the captain, and there's
Killed
this
practically everyone.
one credit on the ground inside that vault. And because the captain was like, "I know it's been hard times lately. We haven't made a lot of money, but now we finally got a big score." And nope. And so all these pirates died during this mission, and they basically were like, "Screw this guy. He's done." And they attack him. But if you are watching carefully in the background, Vane, the pirate from
Mhm.
season 3 of Mando, is there.
He's
And
also
so
in the poster
question
too.
the question is this before or after season 3 of Mando? Because it would seem that if this is after, then he just left his pirate, because all of his pirate cell or whatever got killed, and it was just he was the last only ones to survive. So did he join another pirate crew, or is this before, and this is the same crew that
But we
gets?
don't recognize anyone else.
Yeah, but they're just a bunch of pirates, all different species. Like, that's just what it was before.
Is that what those other crew was? I thought they were similar to what he was.
No, they're all. I think they were from Mando season 3. There were all kinds of species and stuff, and so. But also, if you're paying attention, uh, Jaleel White's character, the Steve Urkel, his character was there
Yeah,
too.
he's in there.
So he's in the background, kind of just like, I don't know, like 10 feet away from Vane. So
We'll get at those guys more for sure.
I'm excited to see how that plays out, because I'm assuming that Brutus guy takes over
Hmm.
as the pirate head.
Kind of wish we could have seen who the captain was.
Yeah, it's just a guy.
But like they hid his face, so we couldn't even know if he was like a human or anything.
Who cares? It's just that's just his aesthetic.
You
Is
didn't read into that?
No, he's not some hidden.
How do we know? Maybe they don't actually kill him off.
So, do you have any
Maybe it's
predictions? Do
Maul.
you think it's Maul, even though he's dead? No.
True. Never mind. Okay, no, keep going. It's late. Okay, I forgot Maul's dead already.
He's not. He's not. He's more sophisticated than pirates. Like, he tried to
No,
work with
I know.
pirates in Clone Wars with Hondo's gang, and they
What
failed
if it
him.
was Hondo? No, it didn't sound like him.
Stop making stuff up, Drew. um, so that's how it opens up, and so a cool action.
I
I
liked
didn't
it a
expect.
lot.
I
I did
didn't
not
expect
expect it
an
like that at
action
all.
thing like that. So having them do that was fan service, and so
I also felt like that whole all of this scenes feels like Star Wars. Like it felt really cool. Like I love this whole part a lot.
yep. And so after that, it just jumps to uh, Wim, the main. What kind of seems like the main of the four, but not really. He's just the introduction to the plot, I guess. But he's just playing with a Jedi and Sith figurine. And it's funny because if you're watching with the subtitles on,
Mhm.
it's mimic Sith voice, and then he says it, and then mimic Jedi voice.
Oh,
It's
that's
the thing.
funny.
That's kind of funny. And he's just like a typical kid playing with little action figures and like fighting them and stuff like that. So he's just doing that. And then his dad calls, "Time for school, blah blah blah. Come down for breakfast, blah blah blah. Don't forget your jacket, blah blah blah." And then he eats this Cocoa Puff cubes.
They're gonna come out with that cereal for sure.
Do you think they're gonna get
If
it
the
out?
show does good, because they came out with the. Did they come out with cereal?
No,
I thought they did at Galaxy's Edge.
maybe at Galaxy's Edge, but they got because they're not. They only did blue milk for like a one thing. Like, but if they're gonna take out the cereal, they got to bring the blue milk also back so people can because the kid put blue milk on it.
They should have for this.
But anyway,
So I'm pretty sure I have that cereal container.
it's just a. Everyone had that when we were in the 80s. It's like an 80s cereal box.
Like it was not that Star Warsy. That threw me off a little bit.
I don't know. It's no different than what
Luke,
what
they had
cereal
in the-
used in Andor when he ate cereal. Same kind of thing.
try to block him out.
Gosh, wish you weren't such a hater. But moving on, his dad is there saying that he has super busy week this week at work and he's not going to be home at all. So here's money to buy this. He's like, "This is your lunch money," which
Was a lot of money, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
I guess we don't know. He just dropped like.
That's not
I think-
gold. Like you just see the gold and think it's like our gold, and that's like
Okay, I guess I don't know the
$20,000 of gold.
It could
right
just
there.
be like $20.
Yeah, it's just
It just
enough
is a-
to get. He says
But when
your
you
lunch
see
money
the
for
credits compared to his credit, the credits in the scene before, I think that's what was like the funny part too. Was like the pirate picked up one credit, and then the next scene, this guy just pulls out a bunch and gives to his kid. I thought that was funny.
Yep. So lunch money, which is weird. Like Star Wars, like why do you have to have like pay cash for lunch? Like you'd think that they would just have like
This is the Outer Rim, though.
you don't know. We don't know where it is,
Oh, I guess. I don't know.
and we're gonna talk about that because there's a detail that you probably missed that I had to. I was like, "Is that referencing something?" And then like I looked it up, and I'm right. So we'll get back to it in a few minutes about that. But the dad is just like a super like career focused guy. Like he's just annoyed being a kid. Like we get later on, we find out that the mother is not in the picture because it's probably implying that she has died. And so single dad, not like he's neglecting his kid basically because of work. But I don't know if he's just normally like this or if it's just because he says I had all this extra work this week. I'm not going to be home.
I feel like he's normally like this, but I don't think he's doing what he can as a single parent.
Yep. And so Wim leaves and he's playing with like a starship thing while he's running to what we find out is a bus stop. And then he gets stopped in the sidewalk and Neil is there and turns around and says, "You shouldn't have come here." And then they both whip out their. Oh, Wim has his ship that he uses as a lightsaber, and Neil just has.
I wish he would have had a fake lightsaber.
Yeah,
too.
like why don't you have something like you're going through this whole like scenario and like on the sidewalk?
It was pretty funny.
So then they air saber each other and they're fighting air sabers and Wim gets his arm cut off and then he slices Neil in half. And then they look across the street and all the girls like, what are you guys even doing? This is so embarrassing, like whatever. Which it was just funny that like the Rhodian girl was just I don't know, like she just stood out. Like obviously like, Rhodians look very different, but like I don't know. The clothes on these kids, that was the one thing that threw me out the most was like I didn't really like
They had uniforms.
I know, but it didn't I don't know. When we see uniforms in Star Wars, it's usually like
Clone uniforms.
No, like Imperial uniforms where it's all like clean, or like New Republic uniforms where it's like more like formal wear kind of. But this was kind of like a beige jacket like thing that was, and like everyone had different pants on. It seemed like, so I don't know, but I don't know. Clothes were kind of weird, but that's it for me. But they get on the bus and they're going, just talking random school bus stuff, just like any other school bus that we're familiar with. And then the two girls, they zip by on a speeder, a little like bike speeder thing. They take a shortcut down the street and go off a ramp down into the woods. I'm like, those girls are cool. And Wim's like, I want to do that. And later on, he gets the opportunity to do that, and he chickens out. That's so funny. That scene's so funny. Um, but they get to school, and a droid is teaching class, and it's talking about the planets, like physics of the planet, the astrophysics or whatever. It's like something, they're talking about weird stuff, and then they talk about the barrier, and like, what's the barrier? That's kind of, and then we get more hints. Like later on in the episode, we see that pan up to the sky at night, and there's red dots in a grid over the sky. Like, there's a barrier around the planet, like a planetary shield or something. And then at the end, right, we're gonna crash into the barrier. So there's something with a barrier, which I guess since they're gone, it doesn't matter. But it's probably gonna come into play later on when they want to return or something like that. But I don't know. So they're in class, and an officer of the supervisor comes in. So who is the supervisor? We don't know, but an officer of the supervisor comes in talking about your career assessment. Take this test, and it will determine the rest of your life. Like, what? Like, they have this in Star Wars? That's weird. But she mentioned something that I feel like it's something you mentioned like during one of our trailer breakdowns or something. I think you said it, but like she mentions that, your career assessment is important because it's part of your great work. Now, do you remember that, what that phrase is from?
Not at the top of my head, no.
So it's from the High Republic. That was
Mm.
that was Lena Soos, the Chancellor of the Republic, commissioning everyone to do these great works to expand the galaxy, to like expand hyperspace lanes, to do exploration, to
Yeah.
unify the galaxy, to do Starlight Beacon, and it's these giant, these great works. That phrase. So I feel like you mentioned in a trailer breakdown, or someone did, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but like that these people are in a hidden part of the galaxy that have not
Advanced.
advanced. Like they haven't experienced the Empire. They don't know about the Empire. They don't know anything. And here it seems like they are under the impression that the initiatives of the High Republic, this would be like 245 years after the High Republic books. So they're stuck in this bubble. Like they have this
That'd be
barrier.
interesting.
Like they have this barrier, and these kids are like, at the end, they clearly have never left the planet.
No,
They didn't
yeah.
even know what stars were really, other than like it's just a thing. But they don't know anything
Mm-hmm.
what's outside the planet. So this is a bubble that's unaffected by the rest of the galaxy. Seems like,
But how does he? But he knows about Jedi and
but but
Sith.
but that's the thing. Like the High Republic would have known about the Jedi, but like the galaxy by the time of the original trilogy, like no one really knew of the Jedi anymore. Like especially like if you were born after the fall of the Republic, you weren't
Mm-hmm.
taught about the Jedi because the talk about the Jedi was bad. Like
That's true, actually.
so, like these
If this
kids,
is like closely after, let's just say it's like right after Episode 6, they wouldn't know what a Jedi would be.
right? But if they're in this pocket, this bubble
Bubble. Ooh.
planet that
It
never.
feels more like the planet would look similar to what the High Republic would look at, like kind of.
I don't know, because there's a lot of prosperity during the High Republic era, and
The droids are all different. Like
different droids, and so it's just interesting to think like,
it's definitely not like empire-y at all. Like it looks safe.
all right,
Like the
so
worst thing that they ever done was that kid was like on the speeder going through town and wasn't supposed to. Like that's like the worst thing. Anything
yeah,
in that
so
area.
it's gonna be interesting. Like, what do the adults know about their planet and how it relates to the galaxy? Like, are the parents just as oblivious? Do they still think that the High Republic is good, or do
Mm.
they know? Like, who's this? Supervisor. The lady is the officer of the supervisor. Like, do the political leaders of this planet, do they know about things, or are they stuck in the bubble? Um, and I feel like there was a scene somewhere in here where it was during the day when it showed the sky, and it looked like they were behind like star clusters, like because there's like that's
There are a
from,
lot more stars over there then.
but like there's this episode from Rebels when they go through the star clusters to go to the planet
Oh yeah, yeah.
Lursan, like those clusters that have like all the spirals and stuff like that. There was a scene where the sky was that. So it's like the barrier, like projecting us, like they're behind a star cluster, so no one goes to them because it's so dangerous to go through a star cluster. Like,
Who is like the overall director of this?
uh, I don't know the name of the director. Tim something, Tim with a W
Who
last name.
oversee did Dave oversee it?
Yeah, it's all the same people. Dave Filoni, John Favreau are producers or whatever.
Oh really? Sweet.
Yeah, well, they produce every show though, so like
Well, like Dave Filoni oversaw the acolyte or approved it, but like wasn't like
but they're producers though.
yeah, but I don't think John was of the acolyte though.
I'm pretty sure he was.
Really?
He's involved in like every show, so live action show. So
Hmm.
I can look it up.
Yeah, our trusty Will is not in the chat tonight because he's probably sleeping like a lame-o.
Or it's late at night and he's in a different
Yeah,
time
because
zone.
what time zone is? It's probably like what 2 in the morning for him.
No, he's only an hour ahead of us.
Okay, so it's 1 in the morning for him.
I don't know. I can't find it. But so I'm just wondering what this planet is about and like
Yeah,
why they're
me too.
choosing to make it this seemingly hidden planet unaffected by the progression of the galaxy.
It's a lot more interesting than
Because it's like, it'd be interesting, the show would be interesting if it was like the plot is surrounding this planet being hidden, but now that the kids are gone, like
what's going on. Are
maybe
we
it's
ever gonna see it again?
maybe it's going to be impossible to get back because it's hidden. They don't know where to go.
Mm.
Um, but then I know from the trailer, like the dad, we get the scene from the dad and that lady, like they are talking, like, what are we gonna do? Like, so obviously we're gonna get flashes back into that planet, but I don't know. It's just interesting to know what this history of this planet is. I don't think we got a name either for the planet
Mm-mm.
because like they mentioned like a company name, like because they're working for this company, like Axon or something like that. But that's all we know. So,
We'll find out more.
yep. And so Yeah, so the lady's talking about the career assessment, and Wim forgot that it was the next day. But Neil's like, how'd you not remember? Everyone's been studying, and Wim's like, we're always studying. Like, what's the difference? And so they're like, because they're like outside the class, whatever, and they're just talking, and we find out that Neil has a crush on Runa, a girl in the class. Like, she's like this white and green furry gerbil looking thing. Like, this is, if they have kids someday, like, this is like a crazy elephant, furry elephant thing. Like, I don't know, dude, how that works, but um, yeah, so that's a thing. And so Wim, he's just not happy about this assessment thing. He's like, I don't want to work here. Basically, like, I want to go on an adventure, and because like they're asking people like in class, like the kids in class, what do you want to be like?
I want to be an accountant.
And Wim is like, I want to be someone who helps other people when they're in danger. And the droid teacher's like, that's what security droids are for. That's not a job. And then, but after like Neil's like, I can't believe you said you wanted to be a Jedi. Like, that's so funny. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just funny. Neil's funny. And so, uh, yeah, Wim just wants to do something exciting, have excitement, have adventure. And then it flashes to the girls. They're just like on their speeder bike, going through, zipping around, dodging through traffic. And the traffic just reminds me of like, you've seen iRobot, right?
I was gonna say, does it remind you of iRobot?
It's like all the cars are like on tracks, but like Will
Yeah,
Smith's character, he has his own like, he takes it off and he does his own
he has
manual
one that's
driving.
like gas.
And so it's like that. They're just zipping through traffic, barely almost getting smashed by buses, and then like they clip something and damage their bike, and they run out of power, and they're just stuck on the side of the road.
They broke their motivator.
And so,
Power converter. That's what it.
yep. And so,
They're gonna have to go to Hostage Station.
yep. And so Neil and Wim, they go home. It's after school, and Neil goes to his elephant family, his mom and dad, and has little baby siblings. And so there's a happy family, and Wim is kind of sad because he doesn't have a family. He just has his dad. His mom is seemingly dead, no siblings. And so he's kind of like, I wish I had what Neil had, type of thing. So like, aw, poor kid. Then it goes to the girls. They're working in a garage, fixing up the bike, and that's when they determine that it's the power converter, which I think is funny. We finally see what a power converter looks like. I think that's the first time we finally see a power converter, right?
Isn't it the same thing that Watto took off this Anakin speeder?
I mean, Saboba.
I mean, yeah, Saboba, not Watto.
I
Saboba.
don't
It
know.
looks similar.
I don't know. I
It's like a
never paid
black
attention.
tiny cone, essentially.
I don't remember what Saboba's speed really
Oh
looks
no!
like. Yep. And so the while they're fixing it up, some punk kids on their own bikes come by, and like, are you ready for that race on Saturday or whatever day it is? They said, and like blah blah blah, like don't chicken out, like you can't beat us, blah blah blah. And so Fern is like, I'll be there. I'm gonna race you. I'm not gonna chicken out. And she's like, we'll be fine. So I think what's gonna happen. This is my big prediction.
Here we go.
This whole show is gonna take place before this race, and they're gonna finally get back to the planet for the race. But she's gonna have, based from their adventures, she's gonna get some speeder bike that's gonna be like super like fast and advanced.
She's just gonna get the one from Naboo. They're gonna land in Naboo,
and she's just gonna like destroy this kid that thinks he's.
Are we supposed to get a certain character that we haven't seen in Star Wars in a while in this show?
I don't know what you mean by that, so I can't.
Like an alien species, like Ewoks or something.
I don't know.
Oh yes, we're supposed to get the weird creature in the Ewok movies.
Oh yeah, there's some
That wizard dude, right?
the one with big eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one that lives in the little hut that like. Yeah, we're supposed
What
to.
if they
Yeah.
land on Naboo? Or I mean Endor, and then they land on Endor, and then she gets one of the speeders that or Luke didn't crash. That'd be dope.
Maybe an
She would
Imperial
win.
speeder.
She'd win that fight.
Maybe we'll see. But so I think that's what's gonna happen. She's gonna be back in time for the race, but she's gonna come with a nice souped up speeder that she found out in the galaxy somewhere.
Do we know if this is season like 1? Like
Yes, this is season 1.
So we're gonna no, but
wah, wah,
is
wah.
no here. No.
Get out.
Enough of your buttons.
No. I can tell I'm tired because I'm like stumbling over everything.
They have not announced a season 2. Just
Okay,
like every
thank
other
you.
show ever made in the history of TV shows, they've only ever announced one episode or one season at a time.
That's fair. It does have a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes so far. I saw that today. It's pretty good for Star Wars.
So, I don't know. If this show does connect
to Mando,
to the Mandoverse, like, well, the characters will probably pull over for sure into the future movies and shows and seasons and stuff.
Who knows? The 2 episodes in the middle of the show could just be Mando.
Could be. I really hope what they should do is in the background somewhere see like Mando and Grogu like go by us in the background.
Or those pirates about to take over and then they show up.
Or what would be cool is if these kids, they're like at some place when something big goes down, but like that big event that goes down is like a main plot point in the Mandalorian Grogu movie. We just see it from a different perspective, like a preview, and then like we actually get to see the whole thing from the other perspective. That'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
But I don't know if Star Wars is that ambitious to do a crossover like that.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'll text Dave and see if we can get the ball rolling on something like that.
Yeah, come
on. So yes, I'm looking forward to that race when it happens. But Fern goes home, and apparently we can override the memory of a droid. Now, I think she made some modifications to this droid so she could do that.
Me too.
I don't think that's true of all droids.
No.
Because there's no way.
Well, their droids are different too.
I'm saying.
Like, they're not like. I feel like droids nowadays in the normal galaxy don't let you do that because they need to make sure that they can figure out if you did something illegal.
I don't know.
Because you can wipe a droid.
Well, right. But I'm saying if you can program a droid to do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think she did that. I don't think her mother knew.
Right. And so the droid is going to spill the beans and say that you just got here when your mom is waiting for you. But she overrides the memory and says, no, I've been here the whole time. I was studying in my room. And then the droid says that to the mom, and the mom like, oh, I thought you weren't here. But why would this droid lie?
Well, in the trailer, that's the mom that is with his dad.
Right, but that's also that chick from the beginning of the thing, the officer or the supervisor. It's the same lady, I believe.
Oh. Well, clearly there's not. She doesn't have a dad. He doesn't have a mom. Through this issue and turmoil,
I would hate that so much.
Hey, but do you hate Hopper and whatever?
That's different.
No, it's not. It's the same situation.
No, because Stranger Things is the best show of all time, and
It's the exact same
it's
scenario.
not the same thing. I would just be mad if they just brought this stupid love thing in. I hate it. I would not be.
They need both parents so they can be happy. Because she's clearly a problem child.
She's not a problem child just because she's adventurous. Like,
Well, yeah, but she's rebelling.
that's the problem with today's society.
Okay,
It's shaming kids that are adventurous.
That's not what I mean.
Give them an outlet, and then it'll be just fine.
She's rebelling. He's rebelling. Not as good, but he still is. So, like, they both parents come together. One big happy family. I'd rather see their parents do that over this trauma that they're about to have that their kids are missing than them two like each other. Like I would like that this show there's no.
Well, yeah, you should let kids be kids. They're only supposed to be 10 years old. You don't need a romantic fling between.
I know, but Stranger Things did. Goonies. The whole premise of Goonies is that essentially.
That's not the whole premise of Goonies at all.
It's a big piece of it, though.
The whole premise is they're trying to find gold so they can save their house from being taken by the government, like or the bank.
It's the same story.
And it's the older kids. It's the older, like, high school students that are.
It is the older ones. It's
the younger ones kids. Are not, even though they accidentally. I don't know how you accidentally. That's anyway. Moving on. The girl gets home from school.
Goonie fan podcast. Go check it out.
Anyway,
GooniesPod.com.
The mom wants to talk to the daughter, and you have something to tell me? Like, uh-oh, she's in trouble. It holds up like a patch or something. Like, oh, you're like top of your class again, or something like that. I think that's what it was implying. Mm-hmm. That the girl is like supposed to be like this super smart academic chick, but she's like super like trying to like pretend. Like show to everyone that she's not that nerd, which I guess is a thing that some people do. If you're a nerd, it's okay.
If you're smart and intelligent, go with it. Lean on it.
Yeah. You can be like our good friend Grace. She's super, super smart and educated, but she also likes nerdy stuff and does cosplay. Like,
or Lucy. I feel like that's Lucy too.
Lucy too. She's super smart, but she's a Star Wars nerd. So just be you. Don't hide yourself. Anyway, that's our pep talk for our pep talk. So yeah. So Fern's like, yeah, cool. All right. I'm going to my room, and that's it. And the mom is like, I wish I was a better mom. Like in her face, like, why can't we just connect? Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Wim. It flashes to Wim. He's studying. He's actually studying. His dad comes home late at night, and Wim is like, ask me a question. And he gets it wrong, and his dad's like, you'll get it one day. You don't want to like show him, like correct him, like you could have told him the correct answer, like to help the kid. And dad's like basically like, go to bed, and Wim is like, can I get a bedtime story? And the dad's like, you're too old for that. Grow up, get over it. Okay, good job, Dad. So the kid tries to go to bed, but nope, he whips out his iPad and starts looking at these cool, like I think he keeps looking at his iPad thing, his tablet, and it's cool, like
it flips.
The page turn, like it's cool, like it's like a 3D like
I want
flip
one
thing, like pretty cool. And I definitely have to like after these 2 episodes, or when I watch the next episode, like see Google like people translating the Arabic.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing already.
And so I want to know what's said on this. But like there's like different things. If it's like adventure stories, it's like I think it's like it's supposed to be like a storybook type of thing, adventure stories, and one of them or a few of them we see are Jedi stories. And so he's just kind of like watching that, reading that, and then that's when it goes up to the sky at night and we see the red dots from what we think is the barrier. And then the next day, he's just running after the bus. Stop! I overslept. Stop! And Neil's like, run, you can make it. He's like at the back of the bus, like looking back, and nope. And
He's like,
so
I know a shortcut.
so he runs back home, gets his speeder bike, and tries to like get to school fast. And he tries to use this shortcut that okay. Well, first of all, he runs back home. He opens like the garage door is opening, and like he did not have to try and roll underneath it to go faster. If you rewatch that,
No, yeah.
like it's so much higher.
Didn't he already have his helmet on too?
I don't know. I don't know how he could have had his helmet before he got back into the building. So, but I don't know. But like you go look at like when he rolls, it's so much higher
It's
than
so high. It's
like,
more just like him thinking.
he just wants to be cool. Like
yeah.
rolling underneath it. It's kind of funny. But he goes on a speeder bike. He tries to take the shortcut that the girls that he saw the day before take.
Mhm.
But he gets to the barrier. He stops. And he lifts the bike over the barrier and then hops.
He doesn't take the jump off the side. You see the jump clearly
Yeah.
on the other side. He goes around it
And so he just climbs over it with the bike. He lifts it over and then he jumps on. But it's like a straight down fall almost.
yeah, it's a big drop.
Which I don't know how he didn't realize that when he jumps back on the bike. But so he's going zipping through the woods and just flashes to like Neil, like in the test room, like freaking out, like, where is he? No, he's gonna miss it, blah blah blah. And he tries to ask the teacher, like, what happens if you're trying to take a shortcut to school and you're not here? And the teacher's like, stop talking, sit down.
It's a robot, so
It's kind of funny.
not a lot of sympathy going on.
And so then Wim is just zipping through the woods. And first of all, okay, he loses his helmet when he hits like a branch. Fine, whatever. But then he keeps getting hit in the face going 100 miles. Dude, that
Don't
mess
kill,
up your
bro.
face, chop off your head, like
Scratch it at least.
like that would be so many red marks and scratches and bruises.
I think it
on
would have
your
been
face.
funny if they would have like made it seem like he felt like he was going fast, but then you actually see it from like outside perspective. He's actually going like way slow. I think that would have been funny. Also, that girl's bike was way faster than that one, so it wasn't really a shortcut
I
for
don't know.
him.
He was going pretty fast too. Sure, hers is probably faster, but like
Yeah.
he was still going quite fast. Like
And I love that he took a shortcut, but he had no idea where to go.
right, he was aiming for the space noodle,
Yeah.
which I guess I don't know, but so he's going, and then he come to like a ledge on a ravine, and he tries to slam on the brakes. The bike stops, but he keeps going, and he falls down the hill, which
Been there and done that.
makes you look when he's approaching it makes it look like he's gonna fall like hundreds of feet, but it's only like,
I know.
it's only like 30 feet down,
It's just
and
like, it's like a big ditch.
he just rolls down.
I was like, oh, he dies.
And he's looking around, and he tries to like climb back up, and he's sliding down, and then when he slides down, it reveals something underneath the dirt. And he's like, what is this? And then a droid, you're in violation of school attendance protocol. Get back up here or something. And he's like, okay. And he's like, how? Like he's at the bottom of the ravine. How does he get up?
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. And then he's sitting outside the principal's office, basically, waiting to talk. And then the girl, Fern, she gets sent over there too. And so she's sitting there. And they just start talking. And he's like, yeah, I missed my assessment. And she's like, oh, you know what happened the last time someone did that? They got sent down to the mines. And she's like always telling these stories about like things just to like freak people out, which is kind of funny. But they're just talking a little bit. And then the door opens up and Wim thinks it's the principal and it's his dad. Uh-oh. And he's like, what are you doing? I can't believe you would do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I convinced the so and so to let you retake the test tomorrow, but you're down 50 points, and that means you have to get every question right just to pass. And what? But no, Dad, I blah, 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 I took the shortcut and then I found something out in the woods. I think it's a Jedi temple. Because on his questus, that's the Chiss Ascendancy term for the tablet. This tablet has like a symbol that looks like the door on this thing that we see. Spoiler door. That's they uncovered. So he thinks it's Jedi temple because it's the same circle within a circle type of thing.
Mhm.
Like, okay, fine. And so his dad's like, no, get back to get home, whatever, start studying, blah, blah, blah. I'll be home later. And then Dad leaves and William starts walking and the girl's like, you found something in the woods? A Jedi temple? Like, no, I didn't say that. Nope, nothing. I was like, that girl is definitely going to be there next time he goes
Yep.
down. Just kind of funny. And so, yeah. So then after this, Wim goes to Neil's house. Now, did you recognize those hologram figures that the kids were watching?
Nope.
Those were the same exact characters from the holiday special when they have the gymnastic
Really?
dancer people.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
they
funny.
remade that scene from the holiday special, which is the worst thing in all of Star Wars. If you thought there was something worse, if you couldn't believe there was something worse than the Acolyte, go watch the holiday special. It's pretty.
But it's classic, which is why it's good.
It's not good.
I need to watch that for Christmas.
No, you don't.
Did we celebrate our Life Day this year?
No, I always forget about it. It's always in November.
November 15th. 14th.
I thought it was the 11th.
Dang it.
I don't remember. I don't pay attention.
Chat, help us out. What day is Life Day? I think it's the 14th.
Left in the chat? No one's been talking.
There's people in there. It's been a busy last 2 months for me. So I apologize. We apologize for not celebrating Life Day with you guys.
Yep. So the little elephant kids, they're watching this hologram dance gymnastics thing. And Wim is looking at the little baby one and like, hey kid. He's outside the window, like creeping in, like, where's Neil? And the kid just points up. And so Wim climbs up onto the roof, looks down the like skylight, and Neil's like in a bubble bath. Like, what the heck? Like, oh hey Wim. Like, it's just kind of weird. I don't know. It was a weird scene. Like, why couldn't he just be in his room?
Yeah, it was like an elephant in a bath.
It was weird. But
so we are both wrong. It's the 17th.
Oops.
Sorry, guys.
Caleb LeBlatt says, happy belated Life Day.
Yep.
And also to you. And Wim is like, hey, your dad got all those tools still? And so they go into the garage and they steal a bunch of tools, which was basically probably just shovels and rope and stuff. And they just take the trek through the woods to the ravine. And Wim was like, all right, you hold on to the rope and I'm going to rappel down. Hold on to the rope. And did you see what was about to happen, Drew?
Yes.
He tries to jump down and they both go down because that's not how you rappel in real life. So they both fall down and they start wiping themselves off a little bit. And Wim looks back at where the buried thing is. And did you notice that it was cleared off a little bit more than?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, uh-oh, someone else was here. And he sees it like, wait, someone else was here. And then you hear a loud, scary, robotic droid voice. Like, stop, what are you doing here? You're in violation of protocol. And they're like, answer our question or you'll be vaporized. who are your crushes in school? Wim says, no one. And then Neil says, Runa. I was like, oh, no. Poor kid. And it was the girl KB with her little like device is able to project a modified voice. And she's like, sorry, she made me do it. And Fern comes around the corner and Wim's like, you. And Fern's like, yep, me. And it's just kind of like this whole standoff thing about this. And then the funniest thing in the whole episode is they have their own like claimsy thing. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
She's like, oh, sorry, I unclaimed it and then claimed it. And Wim's like, no, you can't do that. The person who claimed it first has to be here. And she's like, okay, I claim it. And then, they have to like repeat it back, like someone else to like confirm it. And so KB confirms it. And Wim is like,
the two boys are like, claim it. Oh,
and then like,
dang
but
it.
then Wim is like, wait, she can't do that. And Neil's like, she claimed it. It checks out. Like, these are the rules. There's nothing we can do about it, which is just super funny. Just a kid thing. Like, so funny to me. And so
they're like working and digging it out. And then he's like, when we go inside though, I'm going to claim it again. Cause she claimed the outside, not the inside.
Yeah. And Neil's like, that's a great idea. I didn't do that. It's so funny. And so then they start talking back and forth like terms, like, well, I own this, so you can work for me. And there's kind of like negotiating on what to do. But like, what they should have done is when they're negotiating is to sit down and just think about it and negotiate over a hot beverage. I don't know if, to cut off from the galaxy, if they get coffee and tea, but
they probably get the oldest school version of all that.
Yep. The oldest one, they'll ship interplanetary, intergalactically, whatever. Wesley Andrews coffee and tea. They should be drinking some of that because they happen to be our sponsor today. Mm-hmm. So if you are negotiating after some claimsy things and there's controversy and you got to work out the details, order some Wesley Andrews coffee and tea, drink it down, and you get the deal done. So let's take a listen to a little commercial break.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it. All right. So the Fern was talking with the boys about what she thinks it is, and she just kind of goes on one of her conspiracy theory made up stories that she's doing just to like mess with them. There's like people that were, what was this, like sick or something? I can't remember what she was saying about how like they're just like sent down underground into these mines and they're not allowed to leave. And if you just, sometimes if you put your ear to the door or the window or whatever it is, like you can still hear them banging to try and get out. So the boys, they lay down on it and they put their ears to it, and then she takes a big shovel and just smashes it and scares them. And so super funny. And so goes back to the dad getting home and yelling up the stairs to Wim, and he gets no response. And so then his dad mode clicks on, and he's like, "Uh-oh, something's not good. This isn't good." And so now he makes I'm assuming he doesn't really state it, but it's like, okay, he just told me earlier that he found something in the woods. That's probably where he is. But it's like, how do you know where to even look? Like, the woods are like everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's like, same
That
with
was
like,
the only thing that threw me off.
like the same with like Fern. Like, how did she know?
She knew because that's her route to
Yeah, but
school.
she didn't know that he took that route. So
Well,
it's
he
like,
did say he took a shortcut.
well, but that's not.
It could be the only school shortcut.
I don't know. It seemed a little convenient that everyone knew where to go. Like an exact path to get there, but
Well, maybe what we didn't see is that the principal or whoever that person is behind that door told the dad where they found him.
maybe because the droid did find them.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. We'll go with that.
Does that help you feel better about it?
Well, it doesn't really say anything about Fern, but whatever.
I think hers is because he saw her take that shortcut yesterday, so she knew exactly where he went because that's where she goes. Or maybe they took it and then they saw what he saw.
But also, like, when he's going through the woods, like, he almost smashes into that giant boulder. Like, he just chooses to go that way. Does that mean she also goes that way?
I think so.
I don't know.
Jeremiah, you're reading into it too much.
It's my job to read into it, Drew.
I mean, yes.
That's why they pay us the big bucks.
Yeah, the big bucks.
The big bucks.
I think as we were on our coffee break, I was thinking we need to come out with a sticker that just says Claimsy's Empire Radio Podcast.
That'd be kind of cool. But we'll probably get hit with
How? They
copyright.
don't own the
I
word
don't know.
Claimsy's. It's a
it's
word.
It's the giant mouse. So you
Don't figure it out.
That giant mouse has a lot of power.
If any of you artists out there want to draw Jeremiah as an elephant and give me an afro and then say Claimsy's underneath, let us know.
No.
I'll be the elephant. I don't care. Just give me gauges, though. Give the elephant some gauges.
Giant gauges are like hula hoops.
That'd be dope. I would take that.
So then it goes to the boys digging, and they think they got the best deal in the world, and they call the girls dumb. And then the girls are sitting doing no work, and while the boys are digging this thing out, and they're like, "These boys are dumb." Like,
yeah, it's pretty cool. It really feels like the '80s, like, or like even when we were kids. Like, it feels like that it has that feeling. It was pretty. They nailed it.
I feel like when I was a kid, it was never like boys versus girls. I never really had that, like, boys stay with boys and like girls not. I never had that as a kid. I don't feel like.
I did. Now,
my whole entire life, I've always had more female friends than male friends. Like, just my whole life. Like, this has happened. So like maybe that's just because like I always had close female friends. Like, I've never had that, but
even when you're that age,
my whole entire life.
Well, you also grew up with an older sister.
That doesn't mean anything.
But
she was out of my life when I was like 6 years old. Like when she went off to college. Like,
yeah, but
she's 11 years. So I've been 7 because she's 11 years older than me.
But until you were 7, like, you guys did grow up with that. I grew up with all brothers, and then also with my cousins that also have all brothers. So,
But I never had a close relationship with my sister growing up. Like,
well, I didn't know
I
that.
feel like most of my life, my sister has not been.
Has been married.
Well, that too. Because, like, 18.
She got married when we were young.
99, December 99. So this is
I was 8 years
25.
old when she got married.
That'd be her 25-year anniversary this month in a couple weeks.
Jeez. You know what's crazy is that next month, me and Steph have been married for 10 years.
Wow. And what are you doing? You going on a trip somewhere? Doing anything?
Yeah. I think we're going to go to Japan.
You got to tell me about this because we have to schedule.
May or something.
Oh, okay,
we don't know yet when, but we
Oh.
are going to do
But
it.
not next month. You're not.
No.
When we have our schedule already planned.
No. We might take a weekend trip to take Miles to Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me about that.
And then we might, we were thinking Disney World, but we actually might during the winter in February go to Disneyland because all the worlds are everything's in one. So it's actually cheaper than going to he really wants to see Elsa right now. He loves magic and stuff. So he really wants to see Elsa. So we might go to Disneyland. And if we do, I'll probably meet up with Andrew. So that'll be kind of cool.
All right.
So stay tuned for that.
So anyway, the boys are digging, the girls are just watching. And as the boys clear off one area, KB perks up like, what's that? And she sees a removable panel, opens it up. She has her device on her head that she connects a cord to and then puts the cord into the panel.
She's a techie guy.
Or girl. Techie girl.
You know what I meant. She's a tech person.
And well, apparently she's the echo person. Is it good enough for opening? She probably can do way more than tech or echo anyway.
Well, she's opened one door, so
yep.
You want to make a bet on how many doors she opens with her headset?
I don't know.
Over or under 5?
There's 8 episodes. I don't know, probably less than 5. I feel like they're gonna be.
I wanted to say less than 5
because they're not gonna be they're gonna be on ship most of the time. I feel like.
What if she opens the door every episode? Don't worry, I got it.
They don't got a droid to do it.
They do though.
Well, we don't know what that droid is.
He's in all of. I know, but I'm just saying he's in every trailer and he's on the poster.
But yes, so the door opens up and they're all like, "What do we do?" They're just kind of looking in there, not knowing what to do, too scared to go in. And then they hear the dad yelling for Wim. And they're, oh crap, turn off your bikes, because they have their lights shining. And grab your bags. And it flashes to the dad walking to the woods, and he finds Wim's helmet that he lost earlier in the day. And they're like, the girl hears that it's calling for Wim. It's like, oh, that's your dad. You're in big trouble. He told you not to come out here. Blah, blah, blah. You're in super trouble. And then Neil's like, oh, you're going to be in big trouble, dude. What are we going to do? Like, blah, blah, blah.
He told you not to come out here? We're not supposed to be out here?
It's so funny. And so then they go inside and start looking around a little bit. Or the boys go out to go look around. And then Wim yells, a skeleton! We found a skeleton! And it's not a skeleton. It's the droid that we'll get introduced to next episode. And it's holding on to a lever. And it looks like he was about to pull this lever and he's about to touch it. And the Fern's like, don't touch it. I wasn't gonna. Yeah, you were just about to touch it. And then Neil looks at the droid, and I think there's something in its head, and then like something jumps out of it, and then it causes the droid to fall down, and he pulls the lever down. Uh-oh. And it locks the door that they came in somehow.
Of course, obviously.
I know who knows what that's for, but like it just happens to close the door. So maybe that's like his
emergency hatch.
Final breath was like lock everyone inside or keep everybody out or something like that. But then they just start looking around because KB is like, well, that red cord goes to the door, so we gotta find where this red cord leads to turn the power back on. And so the girls are looking for where the power goes, and Neil's like, I'm going with the girls because I just want to go home, so I'm going to help them. Wim is sad that his best friend abandoned him to hang out with the girls because he wants to. Now he thinks it's the Jedi Temple still. Like, okay, whatever. Like, and so at one point he turns a corner, and there's glass there, and he sees his reflection,
and jumps
and gets scared. And so he's just kind of looking around up there, and the girls, KB finds like the power thing, and like it's in hibernation mode, and I guess all you gotta do to wake up a thing in hibernation mode is just to whack it a couple times with a stick. And so it does that. All the lights turn on, all the power gets turned on, and
you forgot the elephant got stuck in that.
Oh, yeah, he was trying to get down, but like he was too afraid to fully jump down. But like,
no, I think he got stuck because he was dangling. Remember, his feet were dangling.
How did he get out though?
Because when the ship flipped over, because they're upside down the whole time. Because they were walking upside down the entire time.
Oh, I know that, but I don't.
So when it flipped over, gravity took him down.
I felt like they were. No, because it didn't start flipping over until after they got to the hatch.
What do you mean? Because homeboy pushes a green button, and then it all flips over, and then they get out of that.
Right, but they were already. When he pushes the button and it's lifting upside down, and they're already at the hatch before it starts turning over. Because it only starts to turn over when Wim is hanging off the side.
Oh, maybe no. Yeah, I think you're right. The girls pushed him up when he pushes a button.
Did they show that?
Yeah.
Him do that? No. But anyway, they get the power on. Everything is turned on, and it's all the sounds from the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the aiming, assisting, like the locking, like all those sounds from the original trilogy.
The beautiful sounds of Star Wars.
And so when the room that Wim is in where he saw his reflection was actually the cockpit. That's like the front glass. And the seats come down from the ceiling and open up, and the headphones with the corded headphones like we see in the original trilogy with like Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon, like that drops down and he turns that on, and he's like, this gets on his comm, like, or his radio walkie-talkie. He's like,
Jedi 2.
Yeah, he's like, I think I found something, but don't tell the girls. But and the girl is, it's because Neil is just hanging there. She grabs the thing off his pocket. And he's like, don't touch anything. Don't push any buttons. Let's get up out of here. Let's just get out of here. Blah, 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 blah. And then as they're talking on the walkie-talkie, a green light is blinking.
Yeah.
And he just sees it. And it's like, he's going to push it. And he's like, he's about to push it, and he pulls back, and then he goes and pushes it. And then the ship starts lifting out of the ground, and all the kids, they start running to the door to get to the door before it closes, and they run past the droid, and it falls over, and his eyeball turns on, so it's awake. So next episode, we'll meet him. And they get to the door, and it's already lifted off the ground enough where they can't jump out. And Wim's dad sees the ground lifting up, And then the kids they get out and they're like, this is not a temple, this is a starship. And they get higher and higher, and then it starts to turn over. And Wim is hanging off the side. His dad is down there seeing him, and nothing he can do. And I thought the droid was going to reach out and grab the kid and pull him in. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. He's going to be a good droid. He's going to be like best friends right away because he saves the kid's life. But no, the kids, they're able to pull him in. And the ship fully flips over, and it's like the engines are like full blast, and it's like burning. It's like causing like a forest fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh dang, next episode, like it's just gonna be all only you can prevent forest fires. Like you're gonna have a droid saying it though. And so they started just going up and up and up, and then they're like, we're gonna hit the barrier, we're gonna hit the barrier. And they don't hit the barrier, which is interesting. Like, is this barrier a lie to keep people to stay on the planet? Like, there's something shady's going on because they just get into space and there's no barrier. And Wim sees all the stars and I think those are planets. And then KB is like, no, those are stars. I didn't think there were this many stars. And then it starts to go to hyperspace, and all the stars turn to streaks, and they all start screaming. Boom, hyperspace, all the dust and dirt and debris that was on the ship gets left in the space right there. And that's it.
Yep.
End of the episode.
Really fun episode. Really cool.
And so now
it
that we're
hits
off
that
that
nostalgia
planet,
feel for sure.
Now that they're off that planet, I think it's going to look and feel a lot more like Star Wars. Just because there's not going to be any lawns. And so I'm guessing next episode we'll meet Jude Law's character, I'm hoping. Because it would be kind of sucks. It would be sucky if we had to wait to like episode 3 or 4 to meet him. But it's like I wonder where this first because the description of the next episode is like they arrive at their first destination or something like that. Like the ship is programmed to go to a specific spot. So it's like,
is that an old pirate ship?
It could
and
be.
that droid's bad?
There's no such thing as bad droids. They're just what they're
Well,
programmed.
if he's
to do.
programmed bad, I should say.
But like if it's programmed to go back to like a pirate base or something, like that could be where we see them in the trailer, where just automatically autopilot goes there. But like if the ship has been underground for quite a long time, because like a ship that crashes in the woods, even after like 20 years, like it's still gonna be mostly exposed. Like, like even like in like Pacific Islands, like you can find like they'll discover World War II planes that crash on islands, and like it's overgrown, but like you still see it.
Yeah.
And this ship is gigantic. This isn't just like a little like.
It's like the whole cliffside.
It's like bigger than the Millennium Falcon and all these other ships that we're used to. Like this is a huge ship. So like for something like that to be completely buried, it had to have been during the High Republic time.
Yeah.
And so even then, like where it's programmed to go might not exist anymore, or maybe where it's programmed to go is now taken over by pirates all these hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
So it will be cool to see.
It's gonna be cool to see what happens and what it is.
Yep, how it all plays out. So
there's a yawn.
Is that the first yawn between both of us?
Oh, I've been yawning in silence.
In silence. So I don't know. I'm excited. How many power converters out of 10 would you give this episode, Drew?
I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10.
I think I'd give it a 9 too. I think it would be. I think the one thing was just the clothes were a little bit off-putting. The grass is still kind of weird, but I can look over. But
my big thing was I want to, before I give out a 10, I want to see more. You know what I mean?
right.
I've been scarred by the Acolyte a little bit.
Just
So.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's all we have tonight. We are going to reserve voicemails
for tomorrow night.
For tomorrow's next episode, just because we only do voicemails once a week. And since you're getting 2 this week, you're getting spoiled. We're just going to wait till the second episode. So, yeah. So, let us know if you want to send us voicemails. Let us know your thoughts on the show so far and any of the future episodes. We'd love to hear your interpretations and predictions, what you like and dislike, and all that jazz. Could be a lot of fun. So, if you want to do that, go in the description below. There's a links.co/Empire Radio. Links spelled 2 I's. Click that landing page for everything Empire Radio, and one of the links is the voicemail link. But also, get connected with us in all shapes and forms with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We live stream every episode on Twitch. So if you want to join us as we do these breakdowns and fact check us and ask us questions, we'll definitely acknowledge those in the chat. But join the Discord. We have a whole channel for a discussion of Skeleton Crew, so you can go talk with some nerdy people about Star Wars for this show if you like, and all kinds of other things. So join the Discord. There is a fan email. If you want to send us an email with your thoughts or about anything, go right ahead. And there is also a link for needlesslynerdy.com, which is an entertainment network that we are a part of. So go check that out for other nerdy content as well.
Yep, do it.
Well, that's all we have. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning for us. It's time for bed. So anything else, Drew?
Nope, that's it. I'm excited to watch episode 2 and break that down tomorrow night. It's going to be fun.
Yep. So you've been listening to another adventure-tastic episode of Empire Radio.
There you go, Jeremiah.
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.